this box, I have a fairly new Coach handbag. As soon as I saw it, I knew that I loved the look of it, and I know a lot of people have felt the same way. And I've been very surprised that I haven't seen many videos on it yet, and definitely not any that go into the details that I'll go into on this bag today. And as beautiful as I know this bag will be, I do have a few concerns about it. So this is one that I really need to see in person, try on, before I decide whether to keep it. So I thought I would do that with you guys because I bet that some of you have some of the same concerns. So we're going to open up the box to see the bag, take a look at the bag itself in detail, do a what fits, and do some mod shots. And ultimately, I think I'll be able to make a decision by the end of this video on whether this bag will stay or go for me, and hopefully will help you make a decision too if this is a bag you've been thinking about. So stay tuned. And welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman, and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. I post new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those, and so you don't miss my daily community posts where I share the best sales of the day and fabulous handbags that I find. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com. I will have that linked in the description box below, and that's where you can find handbags and small goods that I have for sale, as well as planner pages that I have designed to help you organize and curate your handbags and your life. For example, I have the item tracker page where you can track all of the information about your handbags and small goods. And I also have a variety of calendar pages and planning pages. This is the project planner to help you with all the things you have to do in your busy life. Now let's get into this box. Obviously, I did order this from Macy's. Often you can find better deals on some of these bags by searching at department stores and other third-party retailers that carry them. Although this bag, being so new, is still only available at full price. I haven't seen any on sale yet. And here it is. So I'll get it out of the plastic. And the bag I picked up is this. This is the Coach Cash and Carry Crescent shoulder bag. A mouthful. I will bring it closer. First, let's do a little vertical, not a spin, but a lift, so you can see the whole thing. We have this strap here that is attached, not detachable, but it is adjustable. It has 4 places where you can adjust it here at this buckle. Each of those rivets has brass on it, which is really nice, so the hole that you use is not going to stretch out over time. And then you can also see that the strap is asymmetrical. So it's wider on this side, more narrow here. The opening is a little bit of an odd-shaped oval. And on the front, you have this flap with the signature turn lock. The flap does not go all the way to the bottom of the bag. You do have a little space there. And when we turn it to the side, you can see that the bag is a little wider on the base than it is right here. I'll give you measurements in just a minute. And there is this open spot here that's triangular where the flap folds over. On the back, there is no outer pocket. Here is the whole thing, and then up close, there we go. And then the other side, this is where we have your D-ring with 2 hang tags. We have the regular hang tag that says Coach on both sides. And then we have this special hang tag that has print on one side and it's blank on the other. This says the Cash and Carry Crescent, limited re-edition 1973. Also notice, in addition to that signature turn lock, we have the binding that you find on vintage Coach bags. It's that leather that's folded over the edge. This bag is part of the Coach Originals collection. That is where Coach updates and re-releases some of their original handbag designs. In this case, this is a very much updated version of the Coach Crescent bag. So the Cash and Carry Crescent, designed in 1973 by Bonnie Cashin, would have looked basically like this. This bag, however, is actually an update of the original Crescent, but it looks almost identical to the Crescent. The only difference is that on the original Crescent there was a seam in the leather right here, a vertical seam, and on the original there was no back pocket, but this bag does have a back pocket. This, by the way, is called the saddle bag. And while these bags may look very different, I will point out some of the similarities. First, look at the rounded corners on the bottom of the bag, and then you have the flap that goes across the front but does not extend all the way to the bottom. You also have the turn lock on that front flap, and you have the binding. Plus you have the strap going through the buckles. Now on this new version, it's an oval buckle. The older one was closer to a square, and the older still has those rivets on the adjustable holes. The original, however, has a much longer strap. On some people it can be crossbody. On me it's just a shoulder bag. whereas the new one is definitely just a shoulder bag for anyone. And of course, the body of the bag was much bigger on the original than it is on the newer bag. Let's take a look at the interiors. On the original crescent and saddle bag, the interior was just the other side of the glove tanned leather, so suede. There's a close-up, and you can see inside that's all suede except that back wall is leather, and then there's one zipper on the back. Now when we look inside this bag, we lift that flap, and we see that the interior is completely leather lined in the same color as the exterior. That back wall looks pretty much the same. You have the leather with the one zippered pocket, and you have the Coach Creed. Here's a close-up of the Creed, and here's what it says. This is a Coach bag crafted to last. This reimagination of our iconic cash and carry crescent style from 1973 was too good to leave in the archives. And then it has the registration number underneath. It says NO for number. K is the month that it was made, and they skip I. K would be the 10th letter when you skip I, which means this was made in October. And then it says 24, that means it was manufactured in 2024. And then 54, that would be the plant code. Then the numbers and letters after the dash, which in this case are CY923, that is the style number for the bag. And it also has a little drawing of the bag, which they tend to do with these re-releases. And then when you look inside that zipped pocket, it's lined in a textile. So that's an overview of what this bag looks like. And I can tell you now that as soon as I opened it, took it out of the box, got it all unwrapped, I could tell that I'm not going to keep this. I had two main concerns about this bag going in, and both of them turned out to be concerns that are still a concern now that I have it in my hand. Things that I think make this bag not work for me. That doesn't mean it wouldn't work for you, but I'll tell you about those now. One of the concerns that I had was the wearability of this for me, because shoulder bags tend to fall off my shoulder. Lately, I've been more into top handle, or if I have a shoulder bag, I need to hold it on my shoulder. So I thought this, with this kind of strap, would maybe fall off my shoulder right away. Now when I go to put it on, another concern I have is there enough room here to put it on my shoulder one-handed, or will my elbow run into the bottom of the bag? My elbow does run into it, but just barely. I can get it on with one hand. So that actually worked pretty well. And then when I have it on, usually if I have a shoulder bag, I put my arm down, and that makes the strap move out. In this case, because of the way the strap is designed, where it's flat on the sides, but then it turns so it fits over your shoulder properly, it actually works out really well for me. I feel like it would, for the most part, stay on my shoulder. So here's how that looks, and I think that works great. However, when I turn to the side, and part of this is my shirt, but part of it is just my arm, the bag kind of disappears because of the size of it. If it was a little bigger, a little wider, it's already falling off my shoulder a bit. That's something I would have to be constantly adjusting this, which would be very annoying and make me not want to carry the bag. But yeah, the bag kind of disappears under my arm, and this is a bag that I don't want to disappear. I want it to be seen because it's pretty. I could hold it like this and you can see it a little bit better, but not very much. Another concern I had is with this being a shoulder bag, and it's not really one that you would carry on the crook of your arm or a top handle, it looks like a shoulder bag. It's designed to be a shoulder bag and not really worn another way. So another concern I have is, well, if it's a shoulder bag, can I get into the bag easily with it still on my shoulder? So it is pretty easy to undo the turn lock and lift the flap, but the way the flap is attached, this is actually another concern. I guess I had more concerns about this bag than I realized. Let me show you a couple things up close. I forgot to show you this earlier. When you open the flap right here, it's stamped genuine glove tanned leather. But also you see how the flap opens. It has this spot here where it stays in place, then it's a little wobbly either way. It doesn't open straight back, so that's a little awkward too, especially if you're trying to open it when it's on your shoulder. And I feel like over time you're definitely going to start getting wrinkling where that flap folds. And then in this case, with it on your body still, and with this flap pulled up, the bag tends to want to curve into your body, and that front flap you then have to pull out, and then hold that out with a hand while you can dig around in the bag to get your things. So you certainly can get in and out of it, but it is a bit fussy. It's also annoying, why would they do this, that they didn't put a back pocket on this bag. It would have been so easy to do and so helpful for a lot of people, so you don't have to open the bag completely to get your phone out, for example. Let me give you some measurements. This bag is 11 inches wide. When I opened the flap, I measured it from the bottom of the bag to the top of this interior flap. That's 4.75 inches of usable space. If you have something a little taller, you could put it in there, but if you want it all within that cavity, 4.75 inches. It's 3 inches deep at the widest part of the base, but then it tapers up to only 1.5 inches at the top. And with the strap on the longest setting, this strap drop is about 10.5 inches. Now let's put it on the shortest setting. On the shortest setting, it looks like this. So you have the tail of the strap sticking off to the side, which it's up to you if that looks weird or not. I think it looks fine. However, if you go to open the flap, does that strap get in the way? A little bit, it does. It doesn't make the bag unusable. At this setting, for shoulder carry, you would definitely have to use your other arm to get it up there. This feels much more like it's going to slip off my shoulder. It's not going to stay in place like I want. However, that could be better for carrying it on the crook of your arm. So that would be another option to carry this bag. And that I do like. You could even top handle it like this, but I don't like that enough to keep it. Now let's look at a few things to see what would fit in here and what wouldn't. Obviously this would not be big enough for something like a laptop. It would be big enough for any phone. Here's my iPad mini. Let's see if that will fit. It might, but I think it's going to be too tight. That's as far as it goes. We cannot get the flap all the way down with that in there. As far as wallets, I have this Louis Vuitton zip around wallet. I'm blanking on what it's actually called, but that would easily fit in here. A mini zip. If you wanted to carry a full-size wallet, this is the Sarah wallet from Louis Vuitton. That would also fit and still leave room for other things. Here's an Agenda PM from Louis Vuitton. That would certainly fit. A mini pochette, that would fit in here too. How about a pochette accessoire? Would that fit? I feel like if it does, it's going to take up the whole space. It does. And actually, if you needed a little bit of organization in this bag, this could be a great option. Possibly one of the Nolitas from the Coach outlet, though those tend to be thicker and more structured than the pochette accessoire, but let me bring this closer and show you what I'm talking about. So if you have the pochette accessoire in there, which fits perfectly, then you still have, I've got a little organizer in there, but you still have that whole compartment. If you have the new version, you have a little pocket there. But then that also creates an extra pocket here and another pocket in the back, plus you have the zip pocket that's built into the bag. So that would give you more organization in this little bag if you want, and it easily closes. I think that's a pretty elegant solution. And then in terms of capacity, I'll bring this closer. I just put a few things in there to give you an idea. So I have the mini zip, the Agenda PM, my phone is in there too, and then in the back here I have the mini pochette, which keep in mind is empty. The other pieces are not. But those fit and I can close it. So it would definitely hold your essentials and more. And of course you could always slim down to just a card case for your wallet too. Another thing you may want to think about with this bag, if you're a handbag person and you like decorating your bags with bag charms and things, is how do you do that with this kind of bag? Because at first glance it doesn't really have easy ways to decorate it. It does have this one very small little D-ring, so you could hang some bag charms off the side like this. That doesn't look very good proportionally, that particular one, maybe a smaller one. But you can also clip things to this buckle, like this for example, that looks better. Or if you have one of those charms that's supposed to clip at two ends, or in this case, a bracelet, you could clip it to the bag like this. I'll bring it closer. That's really pretty. This is a vintage Coach bracelet, and you can see I've just clipped it to itself on the back there. And another option is to tie a scarf to it. This is a little Coach twilly type scarf. And then I have this larger square scarf from Coach. And sometimes I like to tie these onto a bag with just one corner and let it hang and be very flowy. So that's another option. Even though this bag has not worked out for me, I do hope that this video will have helped you if it was something you were thinking about. Let me know in the comment section below whether this video made you think that this bag could or would not really work for you, and what other bags you're looking at from Coach right now. Oh, and it does come in a few other colors. This is hunter green. It also comes in black, chalk, maple, and ruby, which is a red. And I will have all of these bags, as well as other Coach Originals bags, and some actual original bags linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.